Welcome back to the channel, guys. So GameStop is once again in the news, and I don't think this is really a good one. On the surface, it might seem like it's good to some people, but in reality, it is not. So we were supposed to hear maybe within the next couple weeks or so who was purchasing the company. Supposedly there was a couple equity firms who were putting in bids, and whoever won, whoever purchased the company, there was supposed to be some announcements coming up within the next few weeks. But now GameStop is stating on their news release on their website that they are no longer for sale. They are not looking to sell the company. That might sound great and dandy. It could be like, oh, cool, they fixed everything. All this crazy stuff that was going on is no longer going on. But that is not the case. From what I am looking at, from what I am reading, we'll take a look at a few little snippets of this. Is that they're not in a position to sell themselves. Nobody wants them. At least that's the way it seems. Previously Q3 they reported almost $500 million in losses. We reported on a lot of these things. Late or early last year, their CEO had stepped down after being on the job only for a few months. We'd spoke on that. Mike Mahler, whatever the heck his name is, right? After their previous CEO had passed away, he took over. I don't know what the heck happened. The dude just left for, whatever reason, personal reasons. I think he might have been stressed the hell out with what was going on with the company because a bunch of other people quit, got fired. These were all like, higher ups, people way up there. So the company's just been falling apart, man. But in this little press release, they state that they've announced that its board of directors has concluded its previously announced efforts to pursue sale of the company, and with its broader review of strategic and financial alternatives. So it just, there's a lot of little nonsense in here, whatever. But the big part is GameStop's board has now terminated efforts to pursue a sale of the company due to the lack of available financing on terms that would be commercially acceptable to a prospective acquirer. So that's just saying they weren't really attractive to other, to buyers. That's really the way I am reading that, is that with their financial situation, with all the craziness that's going on, they just aren't an attractive purchase. So, they're probably wasting more time and money trying to pursue a sale that's not going to happen than trying to fix the company. So they also go on to say, as part of the board's review process, as a previously announced, company sold its Spring mobile business. And they were getting into all these weird mobile business things with AT&T, other ones too, I don't even remember. But they wound up selling and, kind of dissolving most of that stuff. So it states this transaction was completed on January 16th of this year and generated approximately $735 million in immediate cash proceeds. The board continues to evaluate the optimal use of these proceeds, which could include reducing the company's outstanding debt, funding share repurchases, reinvesting in core video game and collectible businesses to drive growth, or a combination of these options. So they made this money. They don't know what to do with it yet. And that's fine. It's, they barely did this, this sale or whatever of this business. But they do have a lot of debts, doing share repurchases that could help. There's a lot of things that they could do to help. Reducing their debts is a big one, but reinvesting in their business is probably one of the smartest things I think they could do. Reevaluating things, changing up how certain things are. Oh my God, I went to GameStop yesterday and it was just a stupid experience. But, there's some things that need to change with this company. I was actually planning to do a GameStop video today, but it was about a whole other thing about how I'm going to save that for later. It's actually kind of an interesting story. I'm still going to record that video. But when I got up this morning and read about this, I was like, I got to talk about it, man. But the other thing that they're doing, besides trying to figure out what to do with this sum of cash that I don't think is really game-changing for them, but they did get out of this business that, seems to have hindered them more than helped, just like previously with the other ones they've done, is that they're finally continuing to search for a CEO. They've been CEO list, not exactly CEO list. They've had people step in, but they need a permanent CEO. So they're trying to figure that out, man. So if you got a top-notch resume and you want to fix this company, GameStop is looking for somebody to run its business. They need that CEO. It's just kind of crazy that it's been about a year almost since their previous CEO just like up and vanished. His left, he was like, screw this noise, and he was out. And they've just had, temporary CEOs. Not to say that a temporary CEO is not going to put in the best effort, but you do want to have that permanent fixture to, run the company, to guide the company, to set those goals and whatnot. And they haven't had that. So hopefully, in the near future, they find somebody. I'm not throwing my hat in that, what is the saying? Well, whatever. I'm not throwing my resume in the hat there. I don't want that job at GameStop. I'm not qualified anyway. Screw it. But taking a look, this announcement that they're no longer selling, like I said, for some people it might seem like, hey, this is a good thing on the surface, but it's really not. But because they just can't figure it out. Nobody wants them, it seems. But their stocks have plummeted. It has dropped over 27%. Who knows if it's going to continue dropping? But this is a low. Their stocks have been dropping nonstop over the years. Sometimes it'll stabilize, sometimes it'll bounce up a little bit, but it's just like it's not maintaining growth. Like, people just aren't interested financially in this company, just with their performance and whatnot. So it's definitely a crazy thing. I've had a lot of bad experiences with GameStop. I've had some good experience as well. And it's really a thing that I think they need to reevaluate a lot of things. The way they treat their customers, the way they treat their employees. You have, happy employees, you're going to have happy customers. If you have employees who, and this is the way I see it, because they're not all bad employees. And if you hire a bad employee, then shame on you. That's your fault. You made a bad hire. But I don't think a lot of the people who were bad at GameStop and, the store level, I don't think they were hired that way. I think they became that way because, I've had a lot of experiences with employees at GameStops who, they were great. You would go chat with them. They wouldn't be pushy with you. They would actually be there to help you get what you wanted, not try to sell you stuff you didn't want or try to run some shady nonsense with you. It's the way they're treated, man. Their hours, being pushed on certain, key requirements or performance, type things with their positions on, hey, you could lose your job over not having enough pre-orders or not selling enough pre-owned, that kind of stuff. And it pushes some employees to just be like, ugh, I don't care anymore. A lot of younger people would go into working for a company like GameStop because they love video games. And it just seems like an awesome job when you're starting out. Hey, I'm going to be around video games all day. Let me go sell video games. It's going to be fun. And it might seem that way at first, but then, the corporate level of pushing these guys to perform with certain things, which I understand, you need to be able to perform your job, you need to meet certain requirements, but just some things were shady. And, these guys might lose that passion that they had. And now you just have a crappy employee who just doesn't care, just going to go with the flow or just not give a shit. And I've seen it all at GameStop. There's still people who work at GameStop who are very friendly, have fun doing their job, don't worry about all this nonsense. But I feel like that's one of the biggest issues, is getting rid of those certain expectations of the employees, or reevaluating how you evaluate their performance. And you go to Best Buy to buy something, you don't have people pushing you on stuff. I'm sure there's certain things they'll try to push you on, warranties and crap like that, or their specific plans, but people aren't getting fired over it. It's just a weird thing. So reevaluating that, getting their core business kind of together, figured out to where they know what they're doing. The whole video game thing, digital games, and their used game business not doing very well. They definitely need to reevaluate that. Stop with the shadiness. That's all I got to say. But hey, it is what it is. GameStop, we'll have to wait and see what happens with these guys. They're no longer for sale, but that doesn't mean they'll never sell themselves. Maybe they want to build themselves to a position where they are more attractive to be sold. Who knows? But when you have a lot of debt, when you're not performing as great as you should, yeah, you might not be as attractive to a potential buyer. So there we go. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Smash that like button. Make sweet ass love to that notification bell, because I know you want to. This was my little GameStop rant after only having like 3 hours to sleep, guys. It is what it is. Really do appreciate y'all. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye bye, and boom!